Hey everyone, have I here, bro? Video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the Dokkan Festival exclusive EZA TEQ Janemba. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And as usual, we'll go ahead and start with the Extreme Z battle. It is a 2-for-1 with Pikkon and TEQ Janemba. You are going to be bringing other world warriors to this event here. That's going to be the category weakness. And after level 20, you just make sure you don't bring in STR units or extreme AGL units, as those units will do really not much damage, as that enemy is going to receive 80% damage mitigation for those typings. But if you don't have the right other world warrior units and you do have to bring in an STR or AGL unit just for defensive purposes, the fight's going to take a little bit longer because those units aren't going to do much damage. Now ultimately, if you just want to run a other world warriors leader, you're going to be bringing the AGL Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku or the Int Super Saiyan 2 that transforms in Super Saiyan 3 Goku to run that team. However, I recommend, if you do have the 10-year anniversary LRs, the Gogeta and Vegito, you just go ahead and bring Vegito. It's going to be Earthbred Fighters and Pure Saiyans, and then you're going to be able to run a lot of the other World Warrior units on that team, and you're going to be just fine and dominate this event, no problem. So now this is a 2-for-1. I know some people are disappointed because they want to run 2 events to get more rewards, but for me, time is limited for me, so I'm very happy to just do 30 stages and be done with it to EZA 2 units. And it seems like they've been recently doing this, because the last EZAs we had with the transforming Cell and the Exchange Gohan, that was a 2-for-1, and then also the GT Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta was a 2-for-1. So hey, again, I will take it. Less time, less effort, I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the unit in of itself. So the unit of itself, the really nice thing about this, like I mentioned in Pikkon as well, is the stats are really good on both of them. Even though they're just Dokkan Festival TURs, we see a lot of those EZAs really like max out at 18,000 attack, things of that nature. It's 21,000, 22,000 HP, and then defense 13,759 LR numbers, right? LR numbers. So I think the last EZAs we had, the stats weren't that great. The units were good, but the stats aren't as high as this, and having high HP, of course, just helps out the team tremendously. This, unfortunately, is on not many categories. Only on movie bosses, transformation boost, corroded body of mind, which is a awful category, and then accelerated battle and uncontrollable power. We will talk about the teams there. Link skills, really just big bad bosses, fierce battle is going to be fine. Metamorphosis is there, Nightmare, Morning Eye, Innocence, and Master of Magic, but unless you're going to be running this with just other Janembas, the Link skills aren't all that great. Let's look at the remaining portion of the skills. Leader skill here, like I mentioned before, corroded body and mind is awful. You get 180% boost. As you can see, all 170% single category leaders that we have are just getting boosted to 180%. It does have this nice secondary leader skill in extreme class. Key plus 3 HP, attack and defense 130%. Your 12 key super stacks attacks, raises defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to the enemy. The passive skill here, you're going to see that this is going to be designed as a great support unit, but it can be limited, and if you do have bad orb RNG, you might be in trouble as well. So the base effects that you have is attack and defense 180%, guard and damage reduction of 50%, which is amazing. Anytime you see that combination, it's a very, very good unit. But there is going to be a caveat there. We'll go here in just 1 second here, but you do have extreme class allies, key plus 2 attack and defense, 30% boost. That's the nice little support there. When you get 3 or more key spheres obtained, which is not much, right? You should be able to do this. You get corroded body of mind, uncontrollable power category allies, attack and defense 30%, and then launch additional attack has a great chance of becoming super attack. So you got to make sure that that happens. Being a floater, you just got to make sure that you are orb managing correctly, and then on top of that, you got to make sure you get that extra rainbow key sphere obtained, because you get 150% to defense and then damage reduction of 30%. So you will have an opportunity to have 80% damage mitigation. However, that will fall because of this issue here, is every attack received, you get attack 20% up to 100%. So you only have to take 5 hits for you to get maxing out for attack, but your damage mitigation reduces by 5%, no more than 50%. So basically this goes away after 10 attacks. You might get lucky and being in a floater position, you might not get hit or only get hit a few times. Ultimately, after your 10 hits, you have to decide, do you want to transform? Now, you can transform after your character receives 5 attacks or more in a battle. So at that point in time, having minus 25%, but you do still have basically 25% damage mitigation plus 30% if you get that rainbow orb obtained. You're going to have 55% with guard, which is still going to be great to continue to support. Now, it's going to be a deciding factor for you. If you feel like, okay, TEQ Janemba is a little bit more of an issue, of a not really beneficial as 60% support, that's very beneficial. And you don't think you can take it with the stat boost, guard, and 30% damage mitigation, then you might want to transform. So if you transform, you go into Super Janemba, and Super Janemba here, you don't raise attack anymore. You don't stack attack anymore. It just raises attack and defense for 1 turn. And then you have these benefits here, which you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look all that much. And in reality, it's good enough, I guess. Give me 1 second here. Okay. I caught that error, because if you guys were probably watching, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. It's like, yeah, that doesn't look right. Right here was pre-EZA, and this is then what it looks like after the EZA. So pre-EZA, which the link skills still change: shocking speed, brutal beatdown, fear and faith, which is actually a little bit better. But yeah, that's a huge difference. So let's go ahead and go back in this. So it greatly raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn, versus what it was before I was showing you here, raises attack and defense for 1 turn. So you have greatly raises attack instead. Anyway, so now this looks right. So attack and defense 200%. Randomly changes a certain type to any type of key sphere. So just changes a certain type, and then changes AGL orbs into rainbow orbs. You guard, and then you have a high chance of evasion. Then 3 or more key sphere obtained, which should be a lot easier to obtain. Attack and defense 100%. Launch additional guaranteed super attack. 1 or more rainbow orbs key obtained, you get 30% to evasion, which gives you 80% evasion. And then if you, before receiving an attack in a turn, your damage mitigation is 30%. And after evading attack, performs critical hit temporarily until the character's next attack. And then you're going to get additional attack and defense 250%. So again, if you are going to make the transformation here, it's basically you're losing the ability here to support, right? So you're giving up the support, and you're like, okay, great, we're going to finish off this this individual, or you feel like you might be in a situation where you might die. Then you're like, okay, damage mitigation is not enough with the guarding. I need to have 80% to dodge. So this is the option to do so. So once you transform Super Janemba, again, losing the support is an issue, but all in all, it's still, I think, overall a great support unit. You can stay in this non-transform state for quite a bit of time. Unless, like I said, 3rd position, your float position is just going to get absolutely destroyed, and the enemy hits you like 6 or 7 times, which, hey, certain enemies will do that for you. Now, let's take a look at Corroded Body of Mind. I mentioned it's not good, and it isn't. You can kind of see, can you even build a team like I did with PyCon? PyCon's team is way better than what I can build with this team here. Now, certain scenarios where, for example, if they EZA like the metal cooler, they EZA, like, I'm trying to think of other EZA units they have to do here. Yeah, it's just not good. I guess they EZA Captain Ginyu, and we need 1st position. Actually, we don't need 1st position units, because we'll need 1 more, because we can use the Janemba here, and then this will be floater support. Yeah, still, it'll be very rough to do. So the teams where you will use this unit here, right, isn't going to be the team that he's going to lead, right? That's really not an option at this point in time until they make Corroded Body of Mind a lot better. So the teams that you're going to be running, starting here with the Uncontrollable Power team. All the teams I'm going to be showing you here has 3 support as floaters, and this is one thing that I wish the super class had more support, because I'll tell you what, extreme class right now is doing very, very well in support, especially the top tier teams, and I think Uncontrollable Power is the best team that you can run as an extreme class currently right now in the game. So of course you're going to get the 60% boost to the Brolys. You're only going to get a 30% for the grade 8 Vegeta, but remember, you're going to get supported by Tech Buhan. You're going to be supported by the Int Janemba. So those units there are there for you to go ahead and have the opportunity for a boost. Now, if you want to have your main rotation fully boosted, you can run something like this. You can run, maybe if you want Buhan here, you can possibly do that as well. So there are options for you to run, and you want to get the 60%. But like I wouldn't trade in physical Janemba, at 60% for a 30% boosted grade 8 Vegeta, right? I absolutely would stick with this option versus this option. But anyway, just want to give you guys something to think about there in terms of the Uncontrollable Power team. I think with the additional support, this team actually gets better, which is great. Then you have the Power Absorption Transformation Boost team, again, all running and boosting up at 60% here because of the Tech Janemba. Buhan, the Kid Buu, they all get boosted up, and you continuously get boosted, and you have the Domain with the Buhan, just a solid team. This, again, both of these teams are just very, very good. It was similar to each other, right? But now with grade 8 Vegeta on here, and you can't have grade 8 Vegeta on this team here, I think I'm gonna have to separate this for best teams. The question is, where am I going to put this in relation to all the other superclass units or teams that are out there? Now, if you're like, okay, I don't want to run the Buhan rotation, you could run the new Cell rotation in terms of the STR Cell and then the EZA Transformation Cell, or the Super EZA Tech Cell, right? But they only get a 30% boost. They don't get the 60% boost like the Kid Buu and the Buhan. So, and then finally, the other team that's really relevant is actually this team here that I think, again, possibly made this team even better. Yes, I know that running, EZA Janemba and then Super EZA Janemba as a floater, when they link up the Int Janemba's, but it's fine. It's still overall, it's still a fine situation, even though they don't link up. You could put some other units on here. You don't run a triple support. That's fine there as well. Up to you. But I do like that the Tech Janemba does provide the 60% boost for all the main units there, and then continue support by Beerus, continue support by Int Janemba. So I think the bench strength and the flexibility for this team is an issue, and it's still an issue, but having Janemba as a support unit does help out, at least for a little bit. So yeah, I think all pluses here for Tech Janemba. It is a welcome addition to a lot of these teams here, but ultimately, you're not going to run. They need to fix the corroded body and mind category. They need to do something with that, or never mention it again. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video here. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.